Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Creative Kloud. My name is Amanda. Before we continue, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and most importantly, share. So with me today, we're going to be discussing about music. And to my left, I have Y1nka, but then I think you spell your name in like a very funny way.
Well, I spelled it Y1nka.
Why?
Well, my name was initially ADG.
What's that?
ADG. It was
ADG.
it was ADG. G.
Oh, G.
G. Yeah, exactly. That's why I changed it.
Oh.
Because people tend to not pronounce it as well.
Oh,
So I just changed it to Y1nka, and then instead of an I put a 1.
Interesting. So I have Remi and Tope. So you rap, and then Remi. Okay, so he's a producer. Oluremi. Sorry. So he's a producer. He's also a guitarist, and then he also sings. And he has like a nice voice. And then Tope, he's a producer too. So before we start off, like, who do you think is the hottest musician right now in Nigeria?
Is that a question for me?
Everybody.
Burna Boy, without a doubt.
Why?
It's just him, man. He really just is. I mean, he's been killing it. He really has the African Giants album, the video for Pull Up, you know, all these. He's just been making some really nice moves.
What about you?
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, you didn't specify if it was to be gospel or secular. So when you say hottest
let's do gospel,
okay.
and then let's do secular.
Okay. For gospel, Nathaniel Bassey at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it changes per time. So
Yeah.
Nathaniel. For secular, Burna Boy, really.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What about you?
I would
I
put
feel
it
like your answer
between
will be
3
different.
people: Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido.
Are you for real? May I have somebody else in mind? For me personally, I feel like it's Tenny that is kind of doing it for me right now. I think it's actually
Female
Tenny.
category.
Well,
Like overall? I mean, well, yes.
kind of.
Recently, she drops Billionaire,
Yeah.
and I think she was also part of, a movie or something. I'm not too sure. But she has
sure
been
of that.
popping around. What?
Was she
I'm not sure about being involved with
Something else she was involved in also.
I don't think it was a movie. But then again, I mean, she's been like nominated for
Well,
like
she has an
different
EP
awards
as well. So.
and stuff like that. But then, as for gospel, I don't think I can stick to one gospel artist. I feel like I just like everyone. However, yes, Nathaniel Bassey is like
Bassey
really
is on
good,
top of
really
it,
really good. But then I just like everyone. Everybody just has like a different.
Sinach.
Dusing something.
Dusing Oyekan.
Yes,
you're
like
very
that guy
correct, yeah.
is so good. It's mind blowing. But yeah, so quickly we're going to go for a safe word so that we don't run out of time when we're answering questions and when I'm even asking a question or contributing. So safe word. Since this is a music segment, let's go with like maybe a guitar. A musical instrument. So,
Sax.
Okay.
How
Piano.
about a cello?
Okay, cello.
What did I forget? Cello.
Okay, we'll just say cello.
Okay.
Okay, let's just say
cello.
cello. Yeah, cello is fine. All right, so before we even continue, Christmas is coming up. So, what are like maybe your childhood Christmas memories, if you have one? So families they've never ever celebrated Christmas ever, but if like you've had Christmas memory, what has been like your best Christmas memory ever? Or not even as child, like just ever. Your best Christmas memory.
Well, I grew up in a Muslim family, so for like the first 10 years of my life, I didn't do anything Christmas. But when I moved to Nigeria in 2003, we used to go to our uncle's house, and he would celebrate Christmas because he was Christian, you know, Yoruba families with their different religions and stuff. So we would go to his house, they would make some food, get some cake, and then everyone would just be playing around. And then at night we would get fireworks.
Okay.
That used to be my favorite.
So where were you living before?
When I moved to Nigeria in 2003, I was living in Isolo, Iswola Street to be exact.
Yeah, but then you said you moved to Nigeria.
Yeah, from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Very interesting. So, like,
That's where I grew up.
what was it like growing up there?
Well, I mean,
Wait, you
very
don't really have like an accent per se. Like, I would think
well.
you would
I've been
have like
I've been
a very
in I've been in
harsh
Nigeria full stop
tone.
since 2003.
Okay, you
So
know, it's a long time. It's a long time.
Yeah.
But I would think you would have like a very harsh tone to you.
nah, not really, not
So
really.
you have to speak like, what do you speak? Arabic?
We speak Arabic and
Yeah.
stuff. Yes,
So,
Arabic. I couldn't finalize learning it before I left, so I don't really know
that's
that much.
crazy. Like, were you born there?
Yeah, I was born there.
That is.
Yeah, I can run away, right?
Sorry, let's just. No,
Can't run
randomly.
away,
It's just, I think this is the first time I've met someone who. This is the first time I've met someone who was born in Saudi Arabia. I didn't think I've met anyone ever. So it's just like a shock to me that like Nigerians are truly everywhere. For someone to hear that someone who was born in Saudi Arabia, that's something. That's something. So what about you guys? What were your greatest memories of Christmas? Or do you ever even like him? He didn't start celebrating Christmas.
I'll
till
tell you,
he-
mine is similar to what he just said. You know, Christmas comes, you guys, you make these clothes like and cool. You know that thing? Like you and your siblings, you wear the same kind of fabric. You can do whatever style you like. Then for us, we would drive all the way from Songwater to Bar Beach. I'm sure you all know where that. Well, if it doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
So we'll come over there, have different kinds of, should I call it fun? Then we'll go back and wait for New Year to come and eat.
Oh, nice.
Lots of food.
So like food was like the highlight.
I'm telling you. No, actually coming to Bad Beach was actually
the
top
highlight.
on the list. It's like a tradition. You
Yeah.
wait for it.
I
You understand?
remember that Bar Beach as well before they did construction work on it. It used to be really
So sorry about you.
For me, the Hamatan, first of all, then I like that time of the year. Then the fireworks, banga, with
Yes,
friends and all.
banga.
So that's okay. That used to be the highlight for me, but now I guess we are grown up and doesn't
And it's just
freak
like
us again.
that's
like
true actually. Like
Christmas.
when Christmas comes around, you just feel like, oh, it's Christmas Day. Okay. Like it's Christmas Day. Okay. What's the big deal? Like
Yes,
I don't
like-
feel different. It's just the same. But anyway, moving on. So what's your musical background like? Like growing up, what did you listen to? What were the type of songs that you grew up with? What were the type of albums that you grew up listening to when you were younger?
I started off with Eminem. He was also my first music video, The Way I Am, at least the one I can vividly remember.
Yeah.
The one where he's falling off a building and he's just rapping and stuff. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. So yes, I started off with Eminem, a lot of Eminem. Randomly, a lot of Aaron Carter as well. All those young whites, high school guys. I used to make some nice rock pop music those days. Yeah, so those are my major backgrounds, and then I graduated to other forms of hip hop, the Jay-Z's, the Parks of the world. DMX too was also something. When I came to Nigeria and I used to live with my family in Yaba, my mom's sister, she was a military person, so they had barracks, houses in Yaba. So I used to go there. My cousin, whose room I used to sleep in at that time, would always have the DMX cassettes playing. So I was, so.
So what about you? How did you start off your music career?
My journey is actually very funny. Growing up, my dad, he loved Obi, like everything. Obi, what's this other man? Apalaman, Haruna Ishola, Ayinla Omowura, but I liked it, but not really liked it. You don't understand? Like everyone was listening to it, and you have to go with the flow.
Was that was that common then?
Yeah, to an extent. Not everybody was listening to Ayinla or whatever they call him, but I know a lot of people liked Obi and Haruna Ishola. So I started learning how to play the guitar. That was like in the late 90s, and it changed the way I was seeing music. Like, I wanted to do more. I wanted to be able to play more, and next thing, I got introduced. Okay, the first R&B album I think I listened to must be Remi and Y1nka, I think back at one or something. And the reason I listened to it was because I saw guitar on the jacket, like the CD case. I was like, oh, guitar, let's play. Then I listened to it. I liked the music, and after that, I think like 2 years into that, a friend introduced me to George Benson, and that was when everything changed. Like, I didn't want to listen to any other thing but jazz music and all that, and it just started to get deeper and deeper and deeper. Then, at the point in time, I like to mess around with stuff, computers, anything I could lay my hands on, and I bought a computer, and I was like, okay, what can we do with this? One guy introduced me to music production. That was how I started as a producer. And okay, way before that, people wanted me to sing because they would tell me, like, you sound like Michael Jackson. I was growing up in some gutter. I didn't even know who Michael Jackson was. They would just tell me, your voice, you've got a very wide range. You sound like Michael Jackson. And I'd be like, who is that?
Michael Jackson?
Who is Michael Jackson? I beg, leave me on my babado, they play that one for hours. So, after I started to learn the guitar, and I started to listen to R&B, I got to know who Michael really was. Yeah. And I started to listen to more of his stuff, and I started to produce, and that exposed me to a whole lot of other stuff. Yeah.
So would you say Michael Jackson's songs now grew on you?
To be sincere, I'm going to tell you that I'm not like a fan of Michael Jackson like people say, but when I started to listen to him, I acknowledged his talent, that this man is actually a hugely talented person. Yeah. But because I'm someone who already fell in love with jazz, I could not go in that direction. Do you understand? I wanted to do jazz, I wanted to do soul, and that's always been my influence. Even when I try to sing or I try to create music for myself. Yeah. You understand? But I do other stuff that people don't even know that I do those ones as a producer.
Okay, interesting. Like, I think one person I really love is Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh, nice.
Her songs are like, I can listen to her albums and just literally forget myself. But moving on, so how did you start?
For me, you know, I was born in a church compound, my grandpa was a reverend then. Okay. So I was exposed to church choir, church instruments, and also that was my beginning. I started off with percussions, you know, conga and all. From there, I graduated to playing the drum sets. Then, when I got to Lagos, around 2006, thereabouts, I started playing the piano. I started learning. I'd wanted to learn way back, but, you know, they would beat us. Don't touch it, you know, it's so expensive and, you know, don't touch it. But, you know, when I got to Lagos, you know, I had the opportunity in my dad's church to. So I started learning, and from there, when I got into the university, I started mixing with friends and also, but the background was listening to local music, you know, Obe, like he said. We would go out for shows, gigs, you know, all these Y1nka. Yeah. So that was my roots, or that's my roots, really, you know, but, you know, getting into the university, started listening to contemporary music, a little bit of jazz, soul, and all. Yeah. So that's it. You know.
So, but then would you say, like, primarily your main niche is gospel?
Yeah.
Gospel. So, would you say it's because of the background?
Yeah, I want to think so. Because of my background first, then because of the mindset I used to have that, you know, before. It took me a while before I could differentiate between secular and vulgar. And I wouldn't say I was brainwashed that if you don't play the keyboards in the church, if you're not doing anything in the church, it's, you know, you're committing one huge sin, like if you're not playing in the church, and that, you know, and I mean,
your laugh was very
deep. We had a prior conversation, you know, so until I started realizing that, oh boy, you can do secular music and yet you're not vulgar, you know, you can be inspirational, you can, I mean, why should you be confined into the four walls?
Her name is Laura Mvula. Okay. And her songs are just amazing. And like, she doesn't even sing about
Jesus
anything vulgar or
okay.
anything Jesus
Okay,
per
vulgar.
se.
All right.
However, she has a song, but she doesn't sing anything Jesus per se. But then her songs are just so lovely. But I feel like a lot of gospel, but maybe not a lot. I might not know since I'm not in the sector. But I feel like there are some gospel musicians or people who are into the era of gospel that feel like any song that's not gospel is bad. Don't ever listen to
We
it.
have them.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
You would go to hell.
You know, so I was in that for a very long time until I realized that, okay, you, my pastor, are you working in a gospel bank? I mean, did you get that? You know, so I mean, so I think it tampered with, but now we are free.